Hello, folks. I'm John Gray. Welcome to Just Plain Living.
Good morning. I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller. And we're glad you guys could join us.
We
today.
are
We're
glad.
sexy.
We're tickled to death.
I'm glad I could join us.
I am too. Yeah, we just finished a big country show this weekend,
Yeah.
so
It's done.
done. Three arduous days.
And we need to say thank you to all our sponsors.
Yes.
They were so nice of people to sponsor us. I appreciate it.
And the seats. You know, people who came in and a lot of folks don't realize how important it is to a venue like that. And there's small stages all around the country that are so important to young people who have an opportunity to get up on that stage. And like I said the other night, for some of them that might be a life-changing experience for them, because it's really nice to get up on a stage like that and perform for people. And some of those little ones that were there, we had Marty Scott's granddaughter isn't that tall.
What'd you
And she
say?
can sing and dance just like
I started to say,
a
if she's
star.
If she's talented, she got it honest. I have
And
to say.
but little people like that get on that stage and they feel the magic of it. And some of them might end up in New York or in Hollywood.
We even had a
you know?
1-year-old on stage, Gideon.
Yeah. So,
Our littlest man.
without people filling the seats and buying the tickets and the sponsors supporting that couldn't happen. And we're just very appreciative of all of you patrons and guests, and it was a lot of
I
fun.
hope everybody knew that you wrote our opening song. I love that song.
Well, thank you.
It was Friday night and we couldn't stay home.
Friday night and you can't stay home.
It was a great song.
John's got a suitcase full of them. No, he's got more than a suitcase.
Yeah, more than a suitcase.
More than a
But,
suitcase.
I wrote that song because we spend about the first 16 years of our life, at least 16 years of our life, in school. Till you're about 18 years old, or 18 years, no, it's about 16 years. Some go to college as 20. In school, Friday afternoon, school's out. You're free till Monday.
Friday night, you can't stay
A
home.
lot of people, and particularly when we were growing up, people didn't work around the clock and on Saturdays and Sundays as much. A lot of people do that, but still there are a lot of people in society now that Friday afternoon you're off work.
Yeah.
2 days of freedom there, and that Friday night has a feeling
It really
that
does.
sticks with
Yeah.
you your whole life.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. And the Friday night audience is always the most reactive audience that we have at
I'm
the
not
show.
sure why that is.
'Cause it's
really.
Friday.
Because it's Friday night and they couldn't stay
They
home.
can't stay home.
It always impresses me that somebody will come and stay there till 10:30 at night. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And they stay with us.
We have a show, and Peggy does a wonderful job producing this show. And one thing
I
she
need to
does
take
is
no
allow.
credit. There's too many good people helping me.
Oh yeah,
not
but
about me.
we allow as many people to get on stage as we possibly can,
That's
because
what fills the city.
that's what fills the civic center.
But you're right. Those are experiences I think that you never forget. And I don't care who you are, even if you're Peggy, who's done it all your life, you enjoy being there, doing that sort of thing, I think, with a crowd that appreciates what you're doing.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
I want
you
to
know.
pay tribute to Kenny Wren's rendition of George Jones'
He stopped loving
He
her.
Stopped
today.
Loving Her Today. That was awesome. George probably just raised up and
Yeah,
said
said
thank
thank
you.
you.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, Kenny did a good job, and the band is incredible. Kenny charts probably 80 songs.
At least.
And distributes it to the band, and the band are all professional players that come each year. And it's just like Amanda Brock. Amanda Brock is a beautiful young lady who started singing on that stage when she was about 5-6 years old, and now she's 35.
I think she was maybe 13.
13,
12, yeah.
whatever. But it's like these people come back, and it's like the South Jackson Goes Country family. It's like
Reunion,
having
yeah.
a family reunion every year. Because a lot of us don't see each other, but that's the only time.
It's a great crew.
Yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
And thank you for all your
Oh,
work.
well, you're welcome. I just play the fool so well. I like
Everybody plays the fool.
I like it when
sometimes.
things break down. And it doesn't happen much because that show's very well practiced and very well put together. But every now and then you have a malfunction. You can't find the right chair to go out there for something. And those extemporaneous moments allow me to
Improvise.
and Peggy sort of gives me a open hand in those junctions, And that to me is the most fun of all of it is, when you get to
make it
dance,
work,
when you get to
yeah.
dance and make it work and come up with stuff. And
John had an interesting conversation that I wish we could have aired today with the chief of police who's here. But it involves so many people that would be incriminated.
we're not going to wear that.
Yeah, that we definitely,
gonna wear that.
But and I read sometimes on Facebook particularly where people make references to the Good Old Boy Network
Yeah.
that exists today. That network don't exist anymore, and if you think if you have a problem with that, you should have seen it 30 years ago, baby. I mean,
It really was
Yeah,
that.
you should have seen it 30
Really
years
was
ago, for
that.
goodness sakes.
I heard something last night. Andrew and I were talking while we were doing the Tennessee Traveler Show about Justice Sheffield
Withdrew from high school.
pitching in an all-star tournament in San Diego, and was invited to pitch with some of the best high school baseball players in the United States. Well, the TSSAA does not allow you to play in those tournaments while you're enrolled in school. And because Tullahoma High School starts so early, this year-round school, he was already in school, so he could not go and play in this fabulous all-star tournament in San Diego. So he dropped out of school.
Good for him. That's exactly
He dropped
what
out
I
of
would have
school
done.
on Thursday and re-enrolled yesterday
Good for
to where he
him.
could go to California and
proud of
play
him.
ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes these sports governing bodies make what I consider to be dumb rules. I mean,
There's a lot of dumb rules out there.
But anyway, but that.
I'll tell you what's going to.
I think he did that with the blessing of the athletic director.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he
the
did.
school allowed him to do it.
Yeah, sure.
Of course they did. Yeah.
And Jerry Mathis probably sits on that TSSAA committee.
He does.
And he made a statement that this needs to be changed.
Right.
So.
And he had a
You
pretty
can't
good
punish
outing.
these
I
young
think
people.
Justice got to pitch one inning and struck out two.
And walked one.
And walked one. Yeah. So.
Fantastic.
And then he pinch ran and scored a run.
Yeah.
So.
And these are some of the best athletes in the country.
Yeah.
What a great
that is
opportunity.
playing.
Oh yeah.
How proud we are.
Marvelous.
Made Tullahoma look good, didn't it?
Marvelous. You were talking about changing the rules. Tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be Johnny Manziel
Yeah.
is going to be the catalyst that's going to change in the high school or the college football regulations forever,
Yeah, you could be right about that.
which they need to be changed.
Right.
If you don't remember, you might not, there was a basketball team called the Fab Five,
I do remember that.
and they were all freshmen, and I believe they played at Michigan. Wasn't it Michigan?
I believe so, yeah.
And these boys, most of them were from bad neighborhoods and big cities. They didn't have any money, but yet they would walk by the store and see their jerseys for sale for $100 a piece.
Wow.
The university was making a fortune off of them. The NCAA was making a fortune off of them. And these guys got no change in their pocket to buy a hamburger.
That's sad.
It's common.
It's common.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's the thing about Manziel. They're talking about him signing some stuff and whether he did
Stop
or didn't
that.
get paid for it. And
Yeah, and at the same time, the NCAA is on their website is selling.
selling his stuff.
I don't think it had his name on it, but number 2 from Missouri.
No, Texas
yeah.
A&M.
Or Texas A&M.
Well, that's him. That's him.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah,
Of course,
sure, it's his stuff.
everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And some news organization reported that, and so they took it down from the website the next
Good.
day. But
So yeah, there's going to be some changes made in that.
yeah, and so I hear some talk that they may move into some sort of super conference deal where the bigger schools are in a conference with themselves with different rules, and they actually pay these players, which I don't totally.
It's hard to
I'm
figure out how it
but,
all works. But
Well,
it should be fair.
they ought to
Should
pay
be
them
fair.
all.
Yeah,
I mean, it's little league pro football is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of these kids, they say, oh well, a college athlete. Most of them aren't there to get an education. The ones that are there to get an education, get an education. The other ones are there to make a name for themselves to go into the NFL draft.
sure.
So treat them that way. Give them a degree in football.
Well, that probably works.
You know,
Yeah.
if you want them to have a college degree, give them a degree in
And probably
sports.
that's the way most people feel, unless you're an education purist, and
Well,
I
right, but
understand that aspect.
What
of it,
happens
but-
when you wear out, though? You know, you're out there. Well, I guess you've made enough money.
Well,
it
you know,
doesn't matter.
particularly with running backs, I'd say, and people that have to take a lot of hits. I mean, there's only so many of them you're going to be able to take in your lifetime.
Yeah, that's
Right.
about a 5-year stretch
Yeah,
on most
yeah,
of
right.
those guys.
Right.
But after 5 years, you're vested.
You're vested. You have all kind of money, but what do you do with your life? It's not all about money. You know, what else can they do then?
Live.
Well, right, but if they don't have an education in some other area or some other interest,
That's a good point, Peggy.
it is a good point.
They,
Of course it's a good
everybody
point.
has interest. They just don't have finances to pursue those interests. You don't have to
Possibly.
be educated to have interest.
Oh, I understand that.
You know, so these guys, if they take care of their money, that's the problem. A lot of them don't take care of their
Yeah.
money.
They think they can always live like a rock star, and you know, it's someday that goes away. So.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that.
I saw something on the internet this morning about a 72-year-old man who used to be a boxer. I don't know if any of you guys saw that or not, but this 23-year-old guy breaks in his house. And he's got a knife, you know, and the guy's still in pretty good shape for 72. And so he comes in and confronts the guy, and the guy lunges at him with the knife, misses. The guy, I mean, takes him out with about 2 punches. And they showed a picture of this poor 23-year-old guy.
He just let
He
him
looked
have it,
like
huh?
he'd been through a meat grinder, I'm telling you. I mean, knocked him cold, called the police, said, come get this guy. You know?
My favorite story was last night, and I haven't watched any news for about a week because I've been in the country show, but last night there was this story on this gentleman that had a pet raccoon, Rebecca, and she was in the shower with him sitting on his shoulder. Well, the wildlife people are taking
They're going to
Rebecca
sue
away.
him. They'll put him in
No.
jail.
And I think that's the saddest thing. They're sitting that raccoon on his shoulder just smiling with his mask on.
That's
And
a
they're
wild
taking him
animal,
away.
and they're
Yeah.
saying you can't do that with a wild animal.
all you wild animals.
All the wild animals,
off
that's
the
us.
Time to
stage.
go.
Off the
The
stage.
exits.
That's right.
Folks, we'll be back after these messages with more of today's show, and I'm sure Jimmy and Chief Blackwell going to have some information that you just can't help but want to hear. We'll be back soon.
What is Rotary? We're a network of people like you. In fact, we're the original social network. More than 1 million of us live just about everywhere you can think of. And we mean everywhere. We get together to exchange ideas, grow our businesses, and make new friends. We volunteer to help our own communities or someone else's. We're right around the corner. Come join us. The name is Rotary. Rotary International. You're welcome.
This facility was built literally on the international date line to bring Charter customers tomorrow's technology first. Like Charter Internet, which was just made faster again. With speeds up to 100 megs, you can download a movie in 2 minutes. The #1 internet service provider in the nation. Click.
Fogelman, good luck with the presentation tomorrow.
Already nailed it.
Get Charter Internet Express for only $19.99 a month.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and to this segment, which we call Police Pointers, and we're pleased to have with us Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell is joining us again today, and he was going to give us some police pointers, but first of all, he wanted to weigh in on the conversation we had about scholarships and paying college football players. What was your opinion about that?
I'm at the other end of the spectrum.
On the other side of that, okay.
You know, I agree that there's a place for football in college, but education is just as important, and you know, so I have my own personal views on some of that. When so many other kids have to go to school and attend classes and and pay their own way to get an education, then you know, I've got a view on it, and it's probably different from a lot of people, but.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, I don't think we were advocating it. Well, maybe John was advocating you didn't even have to go to class. I don't know.
I think
that's what he was saying. Yeah,
he took his argument pill this morning.
yeah, he has. John has been having an opinion on everything since we all got here this morning.
He has.
Okay. All right, we'll move along then now to your topic today is.
Well, I thought I'd talk about something a little more mundane.
Yeah. Okay.
Bicycle registration. In July of last month.
I didn't know you had to register your bicycle.
You don't have to.
Oh,
it's just a service that we provide. And the reason we do that is because bicycle thefts occur quite frequently. And when we go to take those reports and talk to the people, all they can tell us is maybe it was a red bike. Yeah, and there's not much more to go on. Of course, a can of spray paint can take care of that.
Exactly.
That red bike can become a blue bike. But last month in July, we had 7 bicycle thefts. And that may not sound like a lot, but that's 7 people that have been deprived of their property.
And some cases probably their only means to
get around. And a lot of them are children's bicycles, and I can remember as a child how important my bike was to me. That was how I got around town, and as y'all said earlier, you know, 30 years ago things were a lot different. We'd get up in the morning, get on our bikes, come back at dinner time, supper time.
Exactly, and nobody worried about you.
Right. You know, so our bicycles were very important to us, and I think even the children of today, their bikes are still important to them. So what we just did a few years ago was set up a program where if you would bring your bicycle to the police department, we would take the serial number, description of it, your name, and we put it into a database. And we give you a little sticker to put on it that had a number, and it's the sticker was kind of a tamper resistant. You couldn't peel it off all at once. It would leave remnants and things like that. So it would help us in trying to recover bicycles. We may have had 7 stolen last month, but we may have recovered 14 bicycles. And you can imagine the chore it is to try to go through every report and match a bicycle with a possible stolen report.
Yeah, I bet a lot of them you never find out who they...
We don't, and we accumulate them, and we'll have 25, 30 bikes sitting outside that are in the weather, that are, you know, the tires are rotting, everything to them, and no one will come and claim them. We encourage people to come up and look, see if you see your bike there, and we'll pull your report and see if it kind of matches. And what we've ended up doing is try to donate them to groups. We're not always successful with that because they have to put new wheels on it or, you know, do maintenance on it, and they don't have the time or the resources to do it. We tried to donate it to some other organizations, but they only take new toys, not used. So we're kind of then stuck with what do we do with them. Sometimes we take them to a recycle place and just scrap them. Or sometimes we'll put them on the internet auction in a block and let someone auction or bid on them and just take them off our hands. But the program has just not done well. I got my bicycle out a few weeks ago and did some maintenance on it, dusted it off, and went and registered it, and I was number 52. So
you have a bicycle, Paul?
Oh, yeah, my wife and I have bicycles, yes.
Okay, cool, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you may find me about 5:30 in the morning riding around Country Club and East Middle School.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. But, you know, if I'm number 52 and we try to do them sequentially, that's not many bicycles that have been registered.
Right, because there must be hundreds, thousands maybe.
And yesterday we had one stolen, and both tires were flat on it, and the guy got on it and tried to ride away on it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not just they want a pristine bike sitting there. They're taking anything. They'll take it and they'll strip it apart and, you know, make another bike out of it. But if we can at least have the frame that's got the serial number and registered, maybe we can help get your bike
Is that
back.
what happens when they register them? You record the serial number of the frame?
Yes, we have the frame serial number, and we put that little sticker on it. And then if we do recover it, we can check the serial number against our database.
Right.
And it's just not being well used by the community.
What is the charge for stealing a bicycle? Is it pretty
it's a theft.
It's a
Depends on the
theft, right?
value of the
Right.
bike.
Okay.
You know, most of them will be misdemeanors. But you know, if you get some of these expensive bikes, then it could take it up to a felony level.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, but there's a lot of it that's going on, and you know, I would caution the public, the people, to put your bikes up. Most of these are stolen, like from a front porch, or where the child has gotten off it at the end of the day and just laid it in the front yard.
Right.
And someone comes along and picks it up and takes it.
Unbelievable.
And then the next morning, we're having to go take a report of, you know, our bicycle got stolen.
Yeah, and I would imagine if you're accumulating bicycles, that ends up being a problem for you guys about what you're going to do with them. That's another issue.
Yeah, and if we're accumulating that many, and we look out there and we see that we've got 25 or 30 bikes, they've been taken from somewhere. And most of these are where they're left somewhere, and someone calls us and says, hey, this bicycle's been laying in the ditch for 3 days.
Right.
And we'll go out and just pick it up and bring it in and wait to see if anyone reports it.
Okay. And do you register them at the police department? Is that
We
where
do.
Yeah,
Sometimes we
okay.
go to the schools, which is the ideal place to do it.
Right.
But we don't like just going and approaching the children without their parents knowing what is going on.
Right.
So, you know, it's kind of one of those where we have to coordinate with the schools to send something home to the teacher or the parents.
Right.
But then we don't know for sure, did that bike really belong to that kid?
Exactly.
You know, that's that other side. The flip side of the coin is, okay, if someone brings a bike in, do we really know they're the owners of it?
Right.
And they're just registering it saying, hey, this is my $750 bike.
Right.
And so we kind of have to play that. But for the most part, we like to give the people the benefit. If they're going to bring a bicycle up to the police department, there's a very good chance they probably own it.
They probably do. Yeah. You'd have to be pretty brazen to bring one up there you'd stole.
Believe me, you know, there probably are people that would try to do it just so they could say they did it. But we encourage people. It's a free program.
Yeah.
It takes nothing, and we'll give you a little sticker.
Okay.
And, you know, like I say, a bike is important to a child.
Right. Right.
Or as you said, even to an adult,
Sure.
that may be their means of.
Right.
And people don't think about it. If you pay attention when you're out in your own car, see how many people you do see on bicycles.
Sure.
There's a lot of people.
Sure.
And, you know, of course, me being from a police standpoint, okay, does that person look like someone that, you know?
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
But so we just ask that work with us. You know, it is a theft. And we write reports on it, and we'd like to get your property back to you.
Okay. Real quick, we're about out of time, but the school is back in session.
Yes.
It appears to me that as I'm driving around town that you guys are really working these school zones and enforcing the speed limits in these school zones, because I see a lot of cars.
We do, and we do that a lot just for awareness, for people to remember that school is in session. Those people that have children pretty much remember it, but the ones that drive the road daily that don't have kids anymore, they get caught off guard.
Exactly.
When a school zone pops up. So we do want to encourage people, you know, to pay attention to your driving. The lights are flashing, then it's 15 miles an hour. If you see a police officer, and if you're going through it too fast, there's probably a good chance you're going to get stopped
and it could be reckless driving if you're going.
Depends on the speed.
On the speed, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
and
okay.
you know, this part of the year, early part of the year, we like to think that we're going to give people warnings. You know, be aware of it. But of course, the degree of their speed has some impact as well.
I'd just like to say I think it's a great idea, because unfortunately you may want to obey the laws, but if you're driving down Jackson Street, it may not hit you all of a sudden that you're going from a 40 to a 15 when you hit that high school out there. So,
well, and
the police officers being around.
Sometimes when you stop somebody, you want to ask that question: did you not realize everybody you passed was going so slow? Did you not think there was a?
Exactly.
And then they'll tell you that, you know. Yeah, you know, I was wondering why everybody was going so slow.
Right.
So it's awareness, and you know, be cautious.
Okay. Paul, thank you so much.
All right,
always
thank you.
interesting, always nice to have you on the show. We'll be right back, folks. We're right after these messages.
On the train test range, the search for any possible weakness continues. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. Train, the most reliable for a reason.
Hello, my name is Joe Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration. I'm here to talk to you about a couple incentives that are going on between now and end of the year. First is your federal tax credit up to $300. Secondly, 0% financing up to 15 months on XL products. Third, spring promotion up to $1,100. Finally, $500 incentives from your local power distributor. Please give us a call at 455-8757. Thank you.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors, and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Cove Lake, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Martin Weakley, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, Rugby in the Big South Fork, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
If you like HDTV, you're going to like what Charter's been up to. Adding so much free HD that Charter TV is a whole new experience. National Geographic HD, Animal Planet HD, Discovery HD, sports in HD, movies, news, kids programming. Plus, Charter now has thousands of free movies and shows in HD on demand anytime. You want to see more TV in HD? Try Charter. It's smarter.
We'd like to share with you South Jackson Goes Country's opening song, which was written by John Gray.
Stay home with me. Looking for a unique gift for someone special, or perhaps something just for yourself? Then you need to check out Grady Mac Denim Company, right here in the heart of Tullahoma. Grady Mac features the full line of men's and women's Lucky brand apparel. Stop in and check out our denim production line. Grady Mac offers a full line of outdoor sporting apparel and much more. And check out our custom fly fishing equipment, fine art, and signed sports memorabilia. There's something for everyone at Grady Mac Denim Company, the most unique store in Tullahoma.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
The Charter Triple Play lets you experience TV, internet, and phone the way you want with no contracts. Hooked on HD? Now over 100 HD channels available. Movie lover? Get 10,000 on-demand movies and shows. 1,500 in HD, including movies in 3D. Missing your favorite shows? Record and watch TV with DVR service for 4 rooms and over 780 hours of storage space. Get Charter TV for $29.99 a month. Photo fiend, music fan, video streamer? Switch to super fast Charter Internet and do it all with the bandwidth to support all your devices. At 30 megabits per second, Charter Internet is 10 times faster than the phone company's DSL. Get Charter Internet for $29.99 a month. Want more talk for less? Charter Phone has unlimited long-distance calling with no added fees like the phone company charges. Get Charter Phone for $29.99 a month. The new Charter Triple Play. TV, internet, and phone for just $29.99 a month each when bundled. Call 855-81-T-PLAY now.
Welcome back. I'm on the set today with Mr. Winston Brooks. Hello, Winston.
Hey, good morning. Good to be
and
here.
Tisha Fritz from The Exchange. That little paper that comes out, is it once a week?
Once a week, every Wednesday.
And you guys are here to talk about fitness, am I right?
Fitness.
And the arts.
And arts.
Okay, let's
and
hear it.
we'll even touch on Green Tullahoma. We'll hit them all.
I love
all the
that.
mayor's initiatives.
Tullahoma ought to be green with all the rain, so.
It's been a difficult season for the different departments to keep up with the
To
mowing.
keep up with the mowing, it's
I mean,
impossible, and your yard looks like it's got a field of hay on it. Anyway, let's talk about this event that's coming up and make sure everybody gets the details.
Sure. Well, I'll start. We've got a great event that's coming up Saturday, August 24th. It's the Health and Fitness Expo, and it will be at Northgate Mall, and it will be from 9 a.m. until noon.
And it's called Let's Get Healthy Tullahoma. But it's not just for Tullahoma, is it? It's
Well,
for
no, it's really a county-wide, community-wide event. And so we hope to draw people in from the complete county, that's right.
And some of the things that are going on there. You want to address
We've got.
that?
It's going to be a very exciting event. We're hoping to have many vendors. We've invited vendors from all aspects, healthcare, different gym organizations, ways to move your body, as well as different aspects for the kids. We're going to have a kids corner. We'll be able to play games just to show that to get fit, you don't necessarily have to join a gym or spend a lot of money. There's so many different ways.
You need to get off the couch.
Just get off the couch, get out there and move your body. You know, grab a hula hoop, a jump rope, and just get moving.
That's right.
I think that's wonderful, and this is for all age groups.
All age group. I mean, from young children to...
What time does it start?
It starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday, the 24th, and it goes till noon.
So it's not this Saturday. It's
Next
a week
Saturday.
From Saturday.
Yes, the
And
24th.
It sounds like a wonderful event. Well, who decided to do this?
Well, this started out as one of the mayor's initiatives at the beginning of the year, and so it really grew out of the Get Fit Committee, Get Fit Tullahoma Committee.
I think it's wonderful.
And so we're going to be
I'm
doing
really
them
impressed.
over the course of the next 3 years. So we'll do 2 the following year, and then we'll be doing this one coming up Saturday, August 24th.
And this is totally free?
Totally free to the vendors who are coming to the event and free to the community. There's absolutely no cost
So the idea
associated.
is to come in, get excited about fitness, and find out what all's available.
Absolutely.
in
This is
different
our
areas.
kickoff event.
That's wonderful.
And there's also still time for, if you want to be involved, to contact me, and we can get you a booth set up, and you can be a part of this.
And without having to pay a booth fee.
That's right.
I think
Exactly.
that's a wonderful thing
Yes,
to do.
yes.
And Northgate Mall, in case you don't know where that is, just out here on Jackson Street.
That's right. It's
Yes.
going to be easy for everyone to find.
And it'd be right in the center of the mall, sort of spread out in front of.
Right. Right now, it
Yeah.
looks like it's going to stretch all the way through the mall.
That's
and then,
great.
I believe Kids Corner is going to be down towards the arcade.
Yes.
And the arcade is one of our sponsors. And I want to take a moment just to mention that the first 50 children that come to the event will get $1 worth of free video
free
games.
Video games, wonderful.
That's right. So that's a great little tidbit to add to the event. But then there's also going to be, we were talking about the difference, it's for children and for adults. And so there's going to be fitness expos. There's going to schedule a lineup. So if you come in, you'll be able to get some health screenings done.
Oh, that's nice.
That's right. And then at 11:30, we're going to have Coach John Olive's going to come out and bring some of the football players.
Good.
And we're going to have a karate demonstration. And the details of the schedule are still being worked out, and we will be sure to get that to you as soon as we finalize
It sounds
that.
exciting.
It is
sounds
going to be
like
exciting.
fun.
And another event I want to mention too that a lot of people will be able to participate in is Molly Gupta, who is a senior at the high school. And
I know Miss Molly.
oh boy, she
Beautiful
has
girl
been really
and brilliant.
helpful. She is doing one of her health walks at the mall. So we're going to have a booth set up outside, and we have a half-mile course marked off around the mall.
Good.
The outside of the mall.
And will that
hopefully
start
the
at
rain.
9 o'clock too?
It's
or-
going to start at 9, but we're probably going to do it different, staggered throughout the day because it won't take the entire 3 hours. So that's another.
That's really good. It's
event.
nice to see high school students involved in fitness and what's going on in the community. We're very blessed.
Absolutely.
We really are.
We need their energy.
So, is there other things happening? How about the Arts Council? Do we need to speak to that? Was there some other things we need to talk about?
Let me just finish about Get Fit real quick.
Sorry.
That's okay. Then we'll keep it all nice and neat,
Okay.
and then we'll move to the different art councils. I just want to mention also that you can be looking for this ad that'll be coming out. So if you see this is the details about the health fair. And that's August 24th, starting September 3rd, and we'll soon be going through the school kids. Will be an announcement about a new fitness program that the families can join.
Good.
Starts September 3rd, and it's going to be several components. You can work with Joe McCamey. You can work with a pharmacist from Tullahoma Drugstore. Joe McCamey does a Lose to Win program over at Markham's Pharmacy.
And that's been very successful, by the way.
Yes.
Very successful program.
Very successful.
And then you can also sign up to work with some nurses to do diabetic management training classes. And then also along with the Lose to Win with Joe McCamey's program, we're also having Julie Cottrell, who's a registered dietitian and certified diabetes educator. At the same time and location, she will be instructing youth under 16 about fitness and nutrition.
Fitness and
so that's going to be a
nutrition.
10-week program.
That's huge these days.
Mhm.
That's a wonderful program.
That's right, and it's important to just, we're talking about get away from the screen. It doesn't have to be a gym membership or some extreme sport to get fit. It just is a matter of
Get on your feet.
Yes, be aware, that it's important to
Have any
change.
dance instructors out there?
We do.
We do
have
need some
contact.
dance
We've
instructors,
yep.
yes.
So absolutely, if you're interested, like we said, we're doing a fitness expo, various demonstrations. So absolutely, everyone is welcome. Just know that there are many different ways to get fit.
I think that some people just think that you've got to get up and walk every day. Well, I do.
Right.
But anyway, and that's the one thing I feel like I can always do.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many other things you can be doing that are a little bit more fun than just walking by yourself. on a
Absolutely.
treadmill.
I mean, you don't have to start a great big diet plan. You don't have to join a huge fitness center to get results. You just really have to pay attention to the things that you're putting in your body, make smarter choices, and move your body more. That's really what it's all about.
And you might live to be as old as I am.
You just
It's all important.
It
Very
is all important, and it all.
I'm so proud of our mayor for having these initiatives to keep our community and
he's
our
a very
region fit.
committed and progressive mayor.
Yes, he is. Very committed, and you see him out walking and bicycling and all
Absolutely.
those sort of things.
He walks the walk.
He walks the walk. He sets the example.
That's right.
And speaking of the bicycle, Winston was going to talk about.
Good
coming
point.
up.
Yeah, Ride with the Mayor will be coming up next on August 31st, which is a Saturday, and we're going to meet at East Lincoln Elementary at 9 a.m. and we'll do a short ride, generally about 4 miles, and we invite families to come out, bring the young kids if they can ride their bikes, bring your helmet, and it's a great time.
You know, one of the things that touches me about that is that's a good family time.
That's right.
Something special a family can do together, and they're doing something good for themselves and good for their family.
And that's important to that's a huge component of Get Fit Tullahoma, is that it's about families.
It's about family.
Because, you know, the obesity epidemic, it doesn't just touch one demographic. It, you know, from the smallest children, you know, to the oldest of our generation. It's important that we all get together as a family unit and do these things. Support each other, because you can't do it by yourself.
Exactly.
The way to make the greatest change is to all work together.
How sad it is when the mother puts the big cake on the table and knowing full well they shouldn't be eating it.
Right. Well, and you know, cake is okay. You know, just understand that it's got a small piece in moderation. You know, just make smarter choices and you'll succeed.
Well, it's a mathematical equation, and so you've got to do something on the other end of that cake.
Exactly.
Yes.
So run 3 miles and then have your cake.
A simple tip I learned a long time ago was, you know, don't hunt for the parking spot up close to the building. You know, just park at the end of the parking lot.
That's awesome. Take the stairs.
Or take the stairs.
Take the stairs.
That's a big change. Now, that may be a little more difficult. No, but I mean, it's just simple things like that.
It really is.
And getting
All right,
into that
we got
mindset.
30 seconds. Is there anything we were leaving out that we need to touch on?
Well, we were going to briefly talk about the Art Council. You had a new program that they're developing.
Yeah, let's hear that.
Currently, the Art Council, we're working to get art in the community more. So we're looking for several restaurants in the area who'd be interested in having 6 to 12 pieces of art in their location that would be for sale. So not only would that create an appreciation for the arts.
What a great idea.
But
the artists around here are going to love that.
Exactly. All local artists, all, you know, from Tullahoma and the surrounding area. So it's a great way to...
I know that anytime I go somewhere for a meal and I see beautiful artwork on the walls, I want to go back. I feel really good there.
Exactly. And the great thing is you'll be able to purchase them right off the wall. So it just creates a sense of art in the community, and we're excited about that.
Okay, last words?
Last words. Please come to the Health Fair Saturday, August 24th from 9 to 12 at Northgate Mall. We'd love to have you.
And get yourself fit. We'll be back.
Are you a shoeanista with no place local to find your style? Well, now you don't have to travel any further than Bren's Shoe Boutique, located at the Village on Jackson, 1940 North Jackson Street, Suite 120 in Tullahoma. From funky to formal, you can find the fit and style that will make you smile at Bren's. A shoeanista herself, owner Brenda Kemp offers brands like Rocket Dog, Jessica Simpson, Mia, Nine West, J. Renee, Bandolino, and more. Want that accessory splash that none of your friends have? Bren's offers a selection of one-of-a-kind handbags and jewelry with just the right bling. So if your shoe selection doesn't stack up, find what you've been looking for at a price you can afford at Bren's Shoe Boutique, now open in Tullahoma.
Hi, this is Peter, and I work for the American Red Cross. During events like this, people are always asking how they can help. For just an hour of your time and a little stick in the arm, you too can help save a life. There's always a constant need for blood. Make an appointment with the American Red Cross and donate some blood. Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or go online to redcrossblood.org. Thank you.
The Charter Triple Play lets you experience TV, internet, and phone the way you want with no contracts. Hooked on HD? Now over 100 HD channels available. Movie Lover? Get 10,000 on-demand movies and shows. 1,500 in HD, including movies in 3D. Missing your favorite shows? Record and watch TV with DVR service for 4 rooms and over 780 hours of storage space. Get Charter TV for $29.99 a month. Photo Fiend, Music Fan, Video Streamer? Switch to super fast Charter Internet and do it all with the bandwidth to support all your devices. At 30 megabits per second, Charter Internet is 10 times faster than the phone company's DSL. Get Charter Internet for $29.99 a month. Want more talk for less? Charter Phone has unlimited long-distance calling with no added fees like the phone company charges. Get Charter Phone for $29.99 a month. The new Charter Triple Play. TV, internet, and phone for just $29.99 a month each when bundled. Call 855-81-T-PLAY now.
Kenny Garrick, and this is Coffee County Memories and More. To my left here is my co-host, David Pennington, the county mayor. And on the far side there is the owner of this location we're at today, Harold Shelton. Harold?
Yes, sir. Good to have y'all with us today.
Oh, we're glad to be here. Yeah. Behind us here is a general store, like the old general stores used to be.
Out in the country.
Yeah, out in the
And
country.
the neighborhoods too, little small neighborhoods.
But Harold, I'm amazed at how neat you got everything here.
We try to keep everything in good shape.
That's Ruby that does that part though. She's the one
His wife?
Yeah, she supervises.
She says put it here, and that's what I do.
Maybe we should have her out here.
Well, I
I
think
try to get her to come out.
she don't want to do it.
No.
See, she's right now across the street here looking in and supervising this to make sure he does it right.
Y'all come on in, Mr. Garrett and the mayor.
All right.
This is just neat as can be.
Have we stepped back in time?
We have.
You tell him I bought most all this stuff in one man?
Well, I was going to let you tell that story. You're a better storyteller than I am.
I bought most all this from one man. And he'd been collecting for 20 years. He had a 12 by 20 building just crammed full of stuff. And him and Dave was out there in that store one Saturday afternoon, and they called me and wanted me to come over there. I said, I'm busy. I ain't got time for you. Y'all have to work for a living. Well, anyway, I went over there, and he said, I want to sell you all this stuff. And I said, man, you're crazy. I don't need all this stuff. So he told me what he'd take for it, so I bought it. Then I had to build this store.
Why don't you go around and point out some of the stuff, and we'll, Benny and I'll just follow you and let you educate us about, like those lard cans. You got all those loaves of bread. You got all kinds of stuff.
Now, these old store scales here are made by Toledo, and there's the fishtail Coke, the old Pepsi that came out of the old stores, and of course the Coca-Cola signs.
What about them old brooms?
Them old brooms, we didn't get them with him. We bought them over in Gatlinburg, somewhere up
But
in
is
there.
that how they used to do them?
That's how they used to sweep them, yeah, except they made their own back then.
Oh, you mean like you made your own when y'all was little?
Yeah, we had to. We didn't have money to go to the store and buy
You
them.
got new grapes still in a carton in double colas.
Yeah.
That's original double colas, ain't it?
It's original stuff.
Yeah.
To you today, David, I'd take $45 a carton of them.
You mean 45 for 1, 2, 3, for all 6 of them? I can buy them all for $45? All 6 of them?
No, it's all 6 new grapes.
Oh, what about all 6 bottles?
Oh, no, they're $45 a piece.
Now, I was all excited there, Benny, because I thought I was getting
There's
all
old
6 of
store
them.
scales up in here.
What would they weigh in that?
They'd weigh bologna and cheese.
Really?
Yeah, and seed, whatever they needed. Sometimes they'd slice off a little country ham if you couldn't afford a whole
A whole ham?
Yeah.
Well, I think most time when you was out in the country, most of you country folks had your own hams, didn't
We did. We had to raise. We killed 8 hogs every Thanksgiving. We had our own lard, our own butter, our own meat.
Well, won't you walk down this way here and get, like, I know you got some bread signs and bread thermometer and
Kern's bread, yeah. Y'all remember all them rainbow bread?
yeah.
And these are candy store things here where we used to go buy, a nickel sucker or something, or penny.
Penny, yeah,
And
that's
all
right.
these milk bottles, they used to deliver these kind to your front door and trade you out. Of course, these old boxes here are just old stuff that they had in the general store. The peanuts, and they're good collectible cans. And some more of those $45 6-pack Cokes and stuff.
$45 for a 6-pack. What do you think, Ben?
Inflation.
Sure is.
Well, times are hard. And y'all remember all these bread here, loaves of bread that they had back then. Omar.
I mean,
I don't remember Omar.
But I mean, you've got actually, of course I guess you got styrofoam or something, but it looks just like a loaf of bread that you just, Mama sent you to get, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I've sold, we had 3 times that many, but I've sold them all. That guy that just left here, that I bought this thing from, he bought a half a dozen of those.
Does he live around here?
Lives in Marshall.
You got people coming from everywhere.
Yeah, we do have.
We came all the way from Tullahoma.
Yeah.
Uphill.
You won't be charging me for that, will you?
No, I don't think so.
What's that machine there beside Dave?
That's a coffee mill.
Coffee?
An old coffee mill.
You got any coffee beans where we can grind some?
I think there's some beans in that one over there, still in it.
Really?
I think so, in the bottom.
Oh, in the bottom?
I think there's some in there.
Yeah, 2 beans.
2 beans. Well, that's beans.
Yeah. You just barely could say beans.
And some of these old Hershey cocoa cans.
They're nice.
They're banks, you know. They used to have the banks for the kids. And these old lard cans here, we've already talked about them. Some of these cans down here that they used to buy candy in cans.
There's another scale.
Ruby bought those at auction Saturday down at Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And they were still in the old box.
You still got the box?
Yeah.
You smart guy.
And it was all crumpled
That's
up.
nice.
And they never been used. Benny, this is some of the old medicine bottles that they had back when I was a kid. See the old Watkins Liniment and Dr. Scholl's foot powder. I don't know what come in all these, but they did actually come from a drugstore. And the razor blades and stand back, St. Joseph aspirin, all those.
Look at that.
Grandma's pride.
Yeah,
Black
salt,
pepper.
and olive oil, all that stuff that you used to get. The Maxine helper. And
Boy, it's a lot of stuff.
Of course, coffee cans are down in the bottom.
Yeah.
From all kinds of coffee.
Look above it there too. After you get through, look at them coffee cans, man. Look at all them flour.
Yeah.
Flour sacks, and then it's got a flour sign.
You see that? I don't have American Ace left in here. The American Ace had a pilot on them. A pilot's head.
With a helmet?
Yeah, with a helmet.
Like an Ace pilot.
Yeah. And there's a man come in here one day, and Ruby actually told me to throw this can away. It didn't have no top on it. It was half rusty. And she said, throw that thing away. I said, no, somebody might buy that. We put $45 on it. And a pilot came in here it wasn't a week after that. That's just what he was looking for. So people collect all these kinds of cans.
Okay, Harold, what you got over here in this corner here?
Benny, this is all this tobacco stuff, these sack tobaccos, country gentlemen.
Yeah, I remember.
Still got the bat.
I remember those.
You remember rolling those?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever see a automatic roller?
Yes, one time.
My brothers had one, and we wasn't allowed to smoke, but my oldest brother, he could. And so we used to roll them for him.
I knew some people that could roll them with one hand.
Yeah, they used to do it. Of course, they'd twist up the ends on,
Yeah.
and then they'd light them. But these old cans here, and down on the bottom is these porcelain percolators that used to they had them on old wood cook stoves. And this here is a coffee mill, still got some coffee beans in it. And the Prince Albert cans, we used to have fun with them. My dad, when I was a kid, he always chewed tobacco, red apple tobacco. And if we got stung by wasps, he'd cut a little bit of that off and stick that on there after he wet it.
Yeah.
Sort of did. But we got the old snuff cans over there, and the cob pipes. See those? You remember those old combs they used to have in old grocery stores out in the country? That's a candy store. Cash register. Yeah. One of the most collectibles they are because they're narrow and small.
Yeah.
And Benny, you remember these old potato chip cans where you used to keep them at home? And
oh yeah, that's the way you keep them fresh.
Well, they had them home delivered, and they had these cans. When they bring out a new can, then you give them the old one.
I don't remember them home delivering.
You don't remember Charlie Chips? They used to do that. That was the most popular when I was growing up. But these are the most collectible potato chip cans here. They bring $100 a piece.
Wow.
And Lay's, and then they got the premium crackers you used to get the cans. And these old syrup cans, they're expensive now. Some of them are around $400 or $500. And the peanut butter back in the 1930s, these were peanut butter cans here in the 30s, late 20s. All these are expensive things now. And the old salt shakers and all that stuff. And we even had some old steam irons and all that back then. Soft drink stuff over in there, and baking powder. Those, when I was a kid, Benny, you probably too, my mother used to buy this when you get a washcloth.
Yeah, I remember that.
And some of them had dishes in them. Benny, up here See that old malt meal crackers?
Yeah.
Those are back in the 20s. And the Jersey cream soda crackers, all those cracker cans and marshmallow cans up there, they're old.
You're getting a little before my time now, aren't you?
Well, I don't know. That may be back before your time, but I'm not saying now.
20s.
I'm not saying that. Some of that would be in the 20s, like this would be, and maybe the marshmallow cans are late 20s. Those biscuits, they are late 20s. Now this year is a little later than that. And you remember the old Quaker Oats?
Oh yeah.
Some of those are back in the 30s. This candy is a little later than that. They're probably in the 40s. All that candy there. Grocery cans that you could buy in old grocery stores. I had a full line of just about all that, the Ajax and Cleaner.
Bullrocks.
Yeah, Bullrocks, Bullracks. This is the old ice cream freezer they had back then. And you could get these here with a wooden spoon.
Yep.
Back there, yeah.
Okay, Harold, tell us about this thread chest, for lack of another term.
This is a Corticelli, which is a rare piece right here. And this was a thread chest. You know, back in the 20s and 30s, that's what they had. You can see that Clark's had a bunch of these, but this is the most rare one you can get here. I got it from Dick Langford.
How did he do that, Beanie?
He
reckon Dick was asleep or
He
something?
must have been. That must have been when he was sick.
I can buy some stuff from Dick. I've got a whole truckload one time from him.
Huh.
I was leaving.
Something's wrong there.
I was leaving out there one day. I got a whole truckload, and on the way out, David told me this. On the way out, there was an old hit and miss motor sitting there, and so Dick said, "Harold, I'd like to sell you that motor." And I said, "What do you want for it, Dick?" And he said, told me. I said, "Well, we can't get it on, but if you bring it out there next time you come, I'll pay you for it." Well, a couple of weeks he came down and stopped at his office first, and David said, "Where are you going, Dick?" I said, "Going out to Harold." I said, "Why?" Said, "He bought some stuff from me." Said, "Well, how come you sell him stuff and you won't sell me nothing?" He said, "Well, I like him."
It's time for us to go.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to close this show out so we can have cheese and crackers.
That's a good idea. Let's thank Harold for letting us visit with him. We really enjoyed it.
I appreciate y'all coming out and enjoyed meeting with you.
Let the Smokehouse be your mountain getaway destination in beautiful Monteagle, Tennessee. Enjoy our cabins, restaurant, and old general store. Shop thesmokehouse.com featuring homemade barbecue sauces, jellies, and many other fine Tennessee products. Our live Music on the Mountain series features some of the best local and Nashville talent every Friday and Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. No cover, kids welcome.
The highest standard of trust offers a sense of safety and comfort. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of trust in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
Family's favorite shows shouldn't have to fight to be seen. With Charter, you get 4 DVRs, so now every family member can watch what they want, when they want, where they want, without any battles. Call now to get DVR service for your home.
All right, folks, we're back, and there is me. That other face you saw is the unflappable Michael Bush.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, and Michael and his lovely bride Madonna have a show at the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center right now. We had an opening party the other night, and we just wanted to bring Michael on stage. He's such an interesting individual, and his life story is incredible. Everything from painting Jaws to a nun and a penguin.
Yes, that's the most recent. Quite a transition.
So we're just going to visit a bit with Michael and give our audience a little bit of a clue about a little history, a little Michael Bush history.
Well, I went to art schools, a number of them, but wound up painting for feature films for about 25 years. And as you said, I'm one of the men that painted the shark in Jaws. I'm also, you can blame me for Porky's. So the majority of the time we didn't know what movies we were going on, and they were a few good ones and a lot of intermediate kind of movies. I ultimately just got too old to continue doing the number of hours and wanted to retire from that and wound up painting full-time again.
Okay, so, well, we have a little video from the opening the other night and give you a little bit of a shot at what you will see when you come to the Fine Arts Center and see Michael and Madonna's exhibit this month, and I loved this piece right here.
That piece in particular was meant to go into a stairwell. It's 90 inches tall by 30 inches wide, and it's a triptych with 3 pieces making the full painting. This particular piece is from my newest series, and it's called A Ticket Booth at the Multiplex. Of course, these are a little older pieces. These are 6 months to a year ago and come from the Bicycle series, and certainly
most everything you do has motion involved in it.
It does. That's probably what I'm best known for. I don't do stationary very well.
And you love music.
Well, music
There's
is
a lot
good
of musical
thing.
things in your paintings.
Music and dance both always seem to have a bit of motion, and again, that's what I paint is more of an upbeat, alive kind of thing.
Right.
I don't do political, and I don't do social satire. I wind up most of the time trying to paint in a technique that allows for bright colors.
I love that. What are those two guys talking about?
They have masks on. They're at a masquerade party.
Now, a lot of this stuff, you realize, we'll discuss it here in a minute, and there's part of that Bicycle series. I think those are incredible. A lot of your stuff is bigger than life.
Yes, yes.
And I just think that's wonderful. And these pieces.
The ones I did on either side of the window there, I had in a gallery, but they never were able to exhibit them correctly. They were meant to go on either side of a door, either side of a window, either side of a set of bookshelves, but they're meant to be leaning into something, and he never was able to get the right venue for them. And that particular piece is called And Then the Elevator Arrived. And this one is An Unequal Compromise. The Struggle series, which this utilizes real rope and oil paint, has been very successful with corporations. We've sold 3 to different companies who use them. That's my wife, Madonna. She designs jewelry. She handcrafts everything. She has kilns and hammers and saws and
uses precious metals. I noticed some of the stuff was done in copper, which is her copper leaves are beautiful.
Right. Oh, the pea pods that she's been doing recently have been very attractive. So, but she's not just assembling prefabricated pieces any longer. She has a kiln where she does her own enameling.
There it is. There's that beautiful copper leaf right there.
And sterling silver.
The big pieces I like. Big necklaces. They're in style right now. You see all these women, they have these huge bangles and beads.
Well, she's been very successful with it.
This one to me was beautiful.
We did a show last year.
Look at the intricacy in that. It's phenomenal.
We did a show last year, the Vince Gill Stars show, in which Madonna and I were the featured artist, and she outsold me, and that wasn't right.
Look at that. Isn't that big and beautiful right there? And that's at the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center. And that all of this will be there through the 29th
Correct.
of this month.
Until the end of the month. It's free to get in.
Right.
Please come down and consider joining the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center. It certainly needs additional members and patrons.
Yeah, that's where we get the money there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can buy all of this stuff down there is for sale.
Everything's
unless
for sale.
you see a red dot on it. If there's a red dot on it, that means somebody beat you to the punch. Now, what I want to talk to you about is this piece right here, because you said to me the other night you found that you were repainting yourself, and explain that and explain the process you're into now.
The problem at a certain point, and it's almost true with all artists, Jackson Pollock, to many go through it, you do a painting, and the painting you're doing, eventually you've done it. You've done that painting enough that it's a mimic of yourself, and at that point there's a kind of a lack of creativity any longer. So I needed to look for a new way to express myself. And what I started to do was go back to a little technique that we had in school. I revised it. I now take the canvas, such as this one, and I take 2 brushes and I smear paint on the canvas as fast as I can to get it solid color. I want, it's irrelevant to me, I just want the entire thing covered. As soon as I've got it covered, and I usually do 4 or 5, I set them back and I wait for them to dry, and now I set them up on an easel and I begin to look at them and I begin to study to see if I can see anything in them. Much the way someone would look at a cloud when they were little kids and you would see something. Well, eventually with this particular piece, what I saw was a series of people dancing around a bonfire. And now I come in and I paint the negative space. That's the black that you see all around it. And that further defines the characters. And eventually then I go in and work in to put in details, hands and faces and that. And this one ultimately was entitled Dancing Around the Bonfire of Youth. And that's what I'm doing with all my things right now, is I do the pure abstract, sit and look at it until I see something going on, and then I wind up addressing that, and the painting is finished.
Well, that's just incredible to me. You know, I mean, it is. And I've been in your shop. I've been out to your house. You're not shop, it's a studio.
Studio, yeah.
If you were doing woodwork, it'd be a shop, but it's your studio. And you will see, like he's talking about, I would see stuff around the walls out there, and I'd say, well, what's that? And he'd say, well, that's one I didn't like. Yeah. We're going to paint over that one and make it something else next time, or I'm seeing something else here. And it's amazing to me how that process all unfolds.
Well, paintings evolve. On top of that, I work in oil paint, which even though I'm pretty proficient at speeding up the drying time, it's necessary to allow them to rest for a while. Almost all paintings should. You should work on them, you should set them aside, then come back to them, because you'll have a fresh eye and you'll see things that you didn't notice before. So that's why I always work on 4 or 5 things at one time rather than just one. So that allows me to edit as I go along, and some of them just are destined not to make it. The composition's weak, the colors don't work right, it just isn't a pleasing painting, and so those don't make it. Others evolve into pieces such as this one, which are finished pieces.
Yeah. So the ones that don't make it get a roll of what? You don't waste that canvas.
No,
roll them. Yeah. You roll them. That one gets buried underneath some solid color, and you start all over.
That's it. The canvas isn't ruined. You just gesso over it, and you start afresh. And believe it or not, that's not new to me. They X-rayed a lot of old masters' pieces and found 2 or 3 generations of painting underneath.
Michael Bush. What a pleasure to have you with us, my friend.
Nice to see you again,
Folks, you go by the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center through the 29th and see Michael and Madonna's incredible art down there. What I showed you with the glares because of the windows and the lights is nothing compared to the detail and the depth of what this man does, not only in color on the canvas, but in thought on the canvas. It's very deep and intuitive artwork. Go see it. We'll be right back. Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
When you see the sign, The Main Event, take a close look inside at a hair studio that offers services by some of the best master stylists in Middle Tennessee. These stylists offer a list of services that compete with large city salons, from trendy cuts for men, women, and children to the latest color techniques, including highlights and bold color accents. Other services offered include permanent hair weaving and relaxing to formal hairstyle for that special occasion. You can also give yourself a very special treat with a full makeover, including full body waxing. For your convenience, we are open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until the last client leaves happy. Call and make your appointment at 931-571-8682 or stop by our Tullahoma location at 207 North Jackson Street. Pamper yourself at The Main Event today.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Weather vanes are one of the oldest methods of weather prediction. While there are a multitude of designs, the most sensitive weather vane is this rather unattractive dish shape. It detects rain, sleet, snow, even wind. You know it's working because when the bad weather comes in, your TV signal goes out. Quite ingenious.
Outdated satellite technology is no match for clear, reliable TV from Charter.
It's media day at the high school and it's raining outside, so a lot of these pictures are being made inside. They'll be making individual pictures, and then the team pictures and coaches' pictures will be made. If it lets up enough to get outside, we'll go outside and take those pictures. Here's Sister Candy here from Couches downtown making individual pictures.
Well, not me.
There's Big Jacob Pearson. There's a pretty smiling face. Look at all these guys around here, huh? They're lined up for picture taking. Here's some coaching staff right here. Look at them, looking good. Looking good. All these guys doing good. Look at these big old boys. Tullahoma High School Football Media Day. Right here it is. You better play like that.
I play like the star.
Doing that, big boy. I got you. Yeah. Look at them. Look at them. Guys looking good here. Looking good. Look at there. There's a star right there. I guarantee you. Look at that smile. Show him that smile, Coach. That's that winning smile right there. Isn't it? There's my man Riley Darden right there. All right, here's these football managers right here. Look at them. Look at those pretty smiles. Big part of the team right there. Media Day, and here they are, kick back in here. I guess Mr. Pearson's probably giving instructions in here today, isn't he?
Hold on, let me get where you can see me.
Yeah. He blocks out the sun. All right, this is a hammer picture right here. Look at them. They won that hammer down there at that competition. Look at there. There's the biggest hammerhead of all right there. Look at here.
Dang it.
Iron Cat.
What makes him an Iron Cat, Coach?
Coming here and making a commitment, go for make 14 of the 17 workouts. No excuses, no misses, just getting it done and working with the teammates to try to make our team better. And this is a group of guys who've done exactly what we asked them to do.
The Iron Cats. Here they are. Here's your Iron Cats, 2013 right here, folks. Look at them. Look at them, huh? Look at them. Coming around, guys. Iron Cats all the way. Iron Cats all the way right there. We're coming up top. You guys in the back, stick your head through there somewhere. There they are. Get on up. Get on up there. There you go. There you go. That's your 2013 Tullahoma Wildcat Iron Cats. Give me a yell, boys. This is the defensive line right here. Offensive line, excuse me. And is this your award-winning group right here down in Chattanooga? Tell me about that.
We competed in a total of 15 events. 4 of them were agilities. We took first, and 1 took second in the others. And then we had a tug of war tournament and won the tournament. We went 10-0 in the tournament, so we won it overall.
Good deal. Pretty good.
Here at the International Dateline, Charter scientists are bringing you tomorrow's technology today.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning. Like the nation's most powerful internet and TV in HD with free DVR. Record your favorite shows to watch on your schedule, anytime in the future.
Good morning, Doctor.
Get a free DVR when you bundle and let it all in.
Love will find you when you sit and listen to what is in your heart. Can we have it all, or do we only have this one night? Will you just sing along with me? Just show me your smile. As the music plays, we still talk, our minds they lock on every thought. I could sit for hours and count the clock until morning comes around. Will you just sing along with me? Just show me your smile. You and I, love will find us. You and I, love will find us. You and I, love will find us. Will you just sing along with me? Just show me your smile.
That's very nice. You've just been listening to 1/3 of a band called Landfall. Have I got that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you guys are fixing to, well, give me your name. I know your name as a group, but you are
Justin Berry, the bass player.
Justin Berry, the bass player.
I'm Jonathan Rodriguez.
And Jonathan, did you write this one?
No, Justin wrote this one,
Justin
actually.
wrote this one, and you guys do a lot of original music, and of course we can't talk about that all this time, but you are fixing to perform at the Ag Center. When, what, where? Tell me about it.
Yeah, this Saturday, August 17th, we are playing at the I1AM Music Festival and Benefit for Autism.
I am so impressed that you're doing a benefit for autism, because when you came on last year, you were expecting a crowd of about 500 people. And what happened?
We actually had about anywhere from 3,000 to 3,400 people come through the gates and raise somewhere around $20,000.
And that you couldn't have picked a more awesome project, because autism is huge in this country. Well, all over. They say 1 in 50. We
Yes,
talked
ma'am.
about that, are being born with autism, and so the research and the money that you guys raise is going to help toward this project.
Yes, ma'am.
And all right, the Ag Center is located on what's the highway?
It's on 2119 Midland Road in Shelbyville. It's just off Highway 231
Just
going
off
into
Highway
town.
231. And it's this Saturday, the 17th?
Yes, ma'am.
At what time?
Gates open at 10 a.m. and we are going to close down probably 10 p.m., 11 p.m.
So at first I thought you were playing all day long, but obviously you wouldn't live if you played all day long. How many bands are involved?
24 bands.
24 bands, 2 stages.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And one plays, another one plays, and I'm sure there's foods for sale, lots of vendors.
Yes, ma'am.
Possibly.
Arts and crafts. We also have a kids' corner going on, too.
Oh, that's nice. What do they do?
There'll be little craft tables set up for kids
For
to enjoy.
kids to have something fun to do. And the cost?
Well, we're pre-selling tickets right now for $5. You can get them from any of the band members through Facebook or whatnot.
Think about that. $5 tickets and you made $20,000.
Exactly. At the gate, they'll be $10. So
Yeah.
that's our bit of a price hike.
But pre-sale is $5.
$5.
And, my goodness, you can't find anything in the world that would be such a great fun day for $5.
an entire day of
Yeah.
music and food and fun and all this
So
for
how do you keep
$5,
up
you
with
can't
that? Do you
beat
just
it.
stamp everybody?
We have wristbands.
Wristbands.
Everyone gets.
That's a good idea. And what made you guys decide that you wanted to support this cause, autism?
Well, a few years ago, in our former band, we were putting out an album called Play Me on the Radio. We got in contact with an Australian artist over in, of course, in Australia named Tim Sharp, and first off, we were Googling happy pictures because we wanted to be upbeat and happy, and we saw a painting called Double Shot of Happiness from his cartoon character called Laserbeak Man. And right when we saw that, we knew we were hooked. We had to get him to do our album cover. So we got in touch with him, his mom, Judy, and lo and behold, Tim Sharp actually has autism.
How fascinating.
He is actually the ambassador of Australia of autism.
That's wonderful. And so that hooked you on wanting to do something positive.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
In
ma'am.
your
At the
lives.
time, none of us really knew what autism was, and so we kind of had to learn about it to see how we could interact with Tim. And I guess all of us learning about it really kind of hooked us onto it.
And a lot of times you don't realize that there's a brilliant person inside that autistic
absolutely.
person, because they act weird and strange sometimes.
Sometimes.
And my heart goes out to anyone that has autism or is in a family with an autistic person, because there's a real person there, a wonderful person. And the fact that we're having to get some research money and that it's going to such a good cause, I'm thrilled that you guys decided to do that. And I know you play cover tunes as well as your own tunes, but what are your favorite tunes to play? Does it matter?
For me, we do Foxy Lady by Jimi Hendrix, and I absolutely love that song.
You
so
love
it's kind
Foxy Lady? I
it was the kind of
would love
stuff.
that too.
It was the kind of stuff I grew up listening to, and so there's just something about it that kind of gets me going.
And what connected you as a group? At what point, and how long have you been going together?
Well, I met Justin in the former band that we were in because his brother was the drummer and asked me to play with him because I'd known him from high school. And after that band broke up, I was forming a band for a talent showcase at Shelbyville Central High School.
And so you got together,
And I just asked the people I knew, and
it was a
been
great
this way ever
landfall,
exactly.
right? and put you together to do such wonderful things. Where can you get a ticket for $5?
You can get one from us. Go search Jonathan Rodriguez, Justin Berry on Facebook. You can go to Mel's on the Square in Shelbyville, Olympus Gym in Shelbyville.
Where on the Square?
Mel's. It's right next to the Capri Theater.
Okay, Mel's next to the Capri Theater. That'd be easy to find
yes.
from the Square.
Where else? Olympus Gym.
French's Boots.
French's Boots and the Antiques, Arts, and Collectibles Mall.
So a lot of people are involved in making this project go. Who actually is the top leader in this?
I really don't want to say there's actually a top leader. I mean, it is actually a community effort.
It's a committee we've kind of formed.
And how long has this been going on? This is
the second year.
This is the second year for this event, but has there been other events going on at this time of year? Or it's just been established? Well, they always say it takes 3 years. Well, it looks to me like it took 1 year, and you guys are up there and running, so we've got it'll go good. It'll go good. And even if it rains, the show goes on.
Absolutely.
Yes,
rain or shine, we're
so bring
having
your
it.
umbrella and be prepared to spend some money for this awesome cause. Any last minute words you want to say? We've got 30 seconds here.
Yeah, I would actually like to name off the organizations that the funds are going off to. We got the Bedford County Association for Exceptional Students, the Ought to Be Kid organization, and the Kennedy Center out in Vanderbilt, where all the money is going towards from this festival.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wish you great success because I know
very
you're
much.
headed that way, and I suppose people can get an album.
Soon.
We'll be back with more.
Look around, the changes catch your eye, and you come to realize one can make a difference. Since 1915, Kiwanis International has touched millions of lives. When you help one child, you help the world. But one can make a difference.
All right.
What a great show.
Yeah, had all kinds of neat stuff on the air.
I want to encourage people to go to the Ag Center in Shelbyville Saturday. What a great cause. That's
really
wonderful.
What's happening there?
They're having, they're raising money for autism.
I see, okay.
The Ag Center in Shelbyville, and it goes on all day from 10 till 10, and this great band, Landfall, is there. And
yeah.
I want to encourage people to support it.
Be a lot of fun. And a couple of things I have to say here. Want to give our best wishes, our prayers, and our thoughts to Coach John Olive. Lost his mother.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
yesterday,
sorry about that.
and of course it's been a long fight for her, and we just want the Wildcat Nation is behind him, and our thoughts and prayers to him, and Cindy Jolly, the Red Maiden, had a little surgery, and she got out yesterday and did good, and so we hope she heals up quick and well.
Hey, Cindy.
So, and Bob Couch, Daddy Bob.
We all love Bob.
We see you, buddy. That's about all I've got.
Is that it?
That's
Time
all
to say goodbye.
Well, no, this is where it really gets interesting because
okay.
that's all we got.
That's all we got.
But we got more time.
But we got more time.
We got more
there's
time.
nothing else
We can do a
happening.
song. See, there's
By
that
the way,
X
I
right
love
there.
your
That's
song.
it. Bye, folks. See you next week.